Alright, it's finally here, my 2021 luxury wish list. I did a lot of shopping last year. What could I possibly still want? Keep watching and find out. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and SLGs to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. One of the perks of subscribing to my channel is that on your YouTube homepage, you get to see my community posts, and that's where I put information about sales and discount codes and cool pieces that I find. Hopefully you'll find something you like and can take advantage and get a good bargain. All right, let's get started. I haven't written this out. I have on my computer over here photos of the items on my wish list, some of which have been on my wish list for many years because they are difficult to find, less difficult to find in good condition, less difficult to find in good condition for a price I'm willing to pay. So some of these I will never get. That's what's called a wish list, right? And some of these I will get. And some of these are just things that I'm thinking about right now that maybe I'll get, maybe I won't, but they're not like permanent wish list items. Let's not get bogged down in details. Let's just go through this. I have it sorted by designer name and alphabetically. So we're gonna start with Chanel, which happens to be where my #1 wish list item is. Can anyone guess? Surely you've heard me talk about it before. The Chanel reissue 227. I wanted this bag for about 2 years, and I wish I had bought it 2 years ago because the price has gone up so much. First of all, let me tell you what I want, and then I'll tell you the prices. I would like, my first choice was originally the black with silver hardware, but I specifically wanted a very wrinkly black leather. I like that look, and for that much money, I want to get what I want, right? Like 2 years ago, you could find them in good enough condition. What was it? It was maybe $1,500 to $2,500. Depending on the condition, and of course they went way up from there. And of course the black is always the most expensive because it is the most sought after. So when I started looking again, and I was thinking about seriously buying one about a year and a half ago for my 40th birthday, but then there was other stuff going on. I was trying to save money for a trip that my mom was taking me on to the Florida Keys so that I could help out with that. I was also trying to save money because a friend of mine was moving and I wanted to have some money to offer to him in case he needed it, all this stuff. So I was putting those things ahead of buying a handbag. And now, looking back, I kind of wish I hadn't. I kind of wish I'd been a little more selfish and bought the bag, because now the prices are way up. They're like, I've been hard pressed to find a black Chanel reissue for anywhere under $3,000, and I'm just not willing to pay that much for any handbag. I know that $3,000 would be an incredible deal for the reissue at this point because they're something like $6,000 or $7,000 retail, but considering it's $3,000 for a bag, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And on one hand, it would be a bag that I'd probably have the rest of my life, so it'd be a good investment in that way, and it's a bag that just increases in value. So, I mean, that's a big pro, but it's still $3,000 for a bag. And then at that price, which is like the low end of the pre-loved price, it has wear. Do I really want to pay $3,000 for a handbag that has like corner wear and stuff? I don't see myself getting a reissue. And the main issue is the price. I also wonder realistically how often I would carry a bag like that, because I tend to carry larger bags, and I have bags that are similar, but I still really want one. It's still at the top of my list. If you ask me, what do I want to add to my collection, that's immediately the thing I want to add. I keep looking, hoping that I'll find one in the right condition, the right price, the right wrinkly leather, all that. I also considered going for a different color. I considered the bronze with the silver hardware, and those are less expensive, so that's a positive there. The problem with them is that since it's a metallic bag, it tends to have even more visible corner wear than the black ones have, because the metallics tend to not wear so well over time. They wear more quickly than the black would. I don't know. It's something I would buy if I could find the right one at the right price, but I see the chances of that getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. All right, so now I've talked about one item for 20 minutes. Let's move on to some other ones. Oh, I was going to say the next thing is, since I realistically don't see myself actually getting a reissue 227, I think the next best thing for me would be this bag. It's called the Cocoa Pleats, and this is something that I saw on Fashion File a couple years ago, and I kick myself for not buying it. They had this beautiful black one with silver hardware, and I think it's so pretty. It has a lot of the things that I like about Chanel, and it was much cheaper. I want to say it was maybe $1,800 at the time, which, why didn't I buy that? And I haven't seen another one. There are two Cocoa Pleats. One is more like a messenger bag and it has a thicker strap on it. I don't want that one. This is the one I want. That's the shoulder bag. It has this sort of crescent shape. I don't know. It's just very pretty. It has the pleats. I love it. It's beautiful. And if I could find that bag again under $2,000, I think that is one that I would buy. For sure. I think for sure. Another Chanel item that I really want to add to my collection is this. So I already have this piece, as most of you know, in black with gold hardware. It's gorgeous. I love this. I use it every day as my everyday wallet, and I want to add at least one more, maybe a couple more, just so that one doesn't get so much wear, really. So one that I would really like to have is this light gray with the gold hardware, which I have had a lot of trouble finding on the pre-loved market. And I'm not sure if it's one that they regularly have in stores. Maybe you guys can tell me that, who go into Chanel much more often than I do. You know, they're expensive. They're $500-ish, maybe a little more than 500, but to me, worth it because I use it all the time. It holds a lot. It has held up very well. I've had that for a couple of years and use it and it still looks brand new. And that one I got that on Fashion File and paid over retail, like maybe $100, $150 over retail. Totally worth it to me. But I think this gray one would look nice with my azure pieces. And then maybe I could have a few other fun colors and just rotate those. I think that would be really nice. All right, let's move on to Coach. And I do have a few bags in here that aren't considered the high-end luxury brands, but they are on my wish list, and you'll know that I've been buying things other than just the luxury brands. And a lot of you appreciate that, so I'm including them in this wish list. With Coach right now, there's nothing that I just have to have. There's nothing that's, well, just what I just said. There's nothing I have to have and I'm going crazy about. There is something, as I'm filming this, on the outlet side that's a boutique bag that's moved to the outlet, and it is, I've always been drawn to the Coach Hutton bags, and I had purchased a Hutton clutch recently and sent it back because it was smaller than I thought it was. Turned out to be more of a wallet on chain than a clutch to me, and I just didn't see using that. But there's this Hutton handbag right now on the outlet site. It's originally like $650 and they have it for $200, and it's snakeskin with this gunmetal hardware. And I think it is just fabulous. And I keep thinking about buying it because $200 is not bad, especially for a bag that was $650, right? It's a really good bargain. It's not a bag that I would use very often though. There are a couple things holding me back about it. One is the size, because it's like 8 by 6 inches. It's really small for me. And then the other thing is the snakeskin. It's beautiful, but I have been warned by people like Jill Maurer who have had snakeskin bags never to buy a snakeskin bag because the scales lift over time and they just don't wear well. And this one I especially worry about because the back of it is also snakeskin. So the whole thing, the whole exterior is snakeskin. And I think rubbing up against your body as you move will make the scales lift more. That's why I'm hesitant to buy it. There's also this one, this color blocked one that I think is really pretty. I'm looking over at my computer here. So this one's all leather and it has colors that would go with a lot of pieces in my wardrobe. And this one though is not on sale yet. It's full price at $400 on the boutique website. However, it would wear better, but it's still small. It's 6 by 8. I wish they would just make the Hutton bigger. From Fendi, still looking for the right Fendi spy bag. There are a lot of them on the market, but they haven't seemed to age very well. So finding one in the right condition and for a price I'm willing to pay, which is probably under $500, that's been the challenge there. And yeah, I'm open to a few different looks because they come in a lot of different leathers and colors and stuff, but just haven't found it yet. And I'm gonna go to Louis Vuitton right now. Many things I want from Louis Vuitton. Let me just go through the list here alphabetically. There's an Agenda PM. I've mentioned it in wishlist videos before. It is almost impossible to find, but there is one on eBay currently. But there's also a reason I have not purchased it, and you'll find that out in just a second. So this Agenda PM looks exactly like this one on the outside. It looks like just a regular old monogram PM. monogram agenda. But when you open it up, you find this, the yellow and black Kusama dots print, and it has the little Kusama signature in gold on it, and it's beautiful. I love that it's a surprise when you open it. I also love that it doesn't have the, whatever it's called, the printing, the color that can wear off on the outside of the agenda where it can wear off. I like that it's contained to the inside. I like that it looks plain and normal, and then you open it and it's a big surprise. The reason that I haven't purchased this, even though I would really, really, really love to have this in my collection, is that the price is over $1,000. Now, it does come with a box and dust bag, but that's not quite enough to justify that price. Although I was seriously considering it when I saw it because it's that hard to find. And the price on those I think will just go up, because the only other one I've ever seen was a few years ago and it was probably $700 or $800. Next up on my alphabetical list of things I want from Louis Vuitton is the Cabas Alto. So this goes along with the field tote style bag, on the go style bag, where it's a big tote and it's sort of a squarish or rectangular, not square, base, and it'll hold a lot, and this will be a great work bag. I've kind of recently discovered these. I've been aware of the Cabas for a long time, but I had never really considered it. I'm not a big fan of the triangle pieces on the bottom of the bag, but other than that, I think the Alto would be a fantastic work bag for me. Cabas comes in 3 sizes, the Piano, the Mezzo, and the Alto. And the Alto is the largest. The prices are really good. You can find them under $1,000. The problem is finding them with vachetta that's not destroyed, or one that doesn't have corner wear. So that's one that I'm pretty seriously on the market for right now. It's probably one I'll buy this year if I can find the right one, the right condition, and the right price. It's always, that trifecta. And then you guys also know I want the Ménilmontant PM. Still a bag that I want to have, but I also am hesitant to buy because I don't know that I would carry it that often, and that's a lot of money, $1,000-ish for a bag that I may not reach for, so we'll see. I don't know. There are other bags that are more practical in that price range, like the Cabas Alto. I know I'd use that all the time. And then there are 2 mini pochettes that I would love to add to my collection. One, I currently only have the monogram one, and I would like to add the Azure one to complete my Azure SLG collection. And then I would also love to add this piece, which has been on my wish list for a few years. It's the Trunks and Locks piece on the Damier Ebene. I almost bought one of these. I purchased it, or I committed to purchase it, something like that, off of Poshmark, and then the person never shipped it and didn't communicate with me, so I canceled the order, which was really too bad because I'd been looking for it for years and they had it for a really good price and great condition, and I wanted it really bad. And that's happened more than once when I've found something that I've really wanted for a good price and good condition, and I purchased it from a site like that where Poshmark or Tradesy or something, where they're individual sellers and then they don't follow through with actually selling the item to you. It's very frustrating, but it happens. Next up, this is one that I go back and forth about and will probably never purchase, but it always stays on my wish list anyway. The Neverfull in what used to be Mon Monogram and is now My Heritage. So the ones that you can get customized with the stripes and your initials and the interior color. And it's just because I want one with the turquoise interior. I don't know, I would love to have one that has the turquoise interior. I'm not so sure about the stripes or about having my initials on the bag. And I know people have told me that I can get it without the stripes and the initials and just have the plain monogram on the outside and the turquoise in the inside. But then I feel like, as expensive as they are, like, why not get everything that you're paying for, It's not like if you don't get the stripes and the initials, they give you a discount. They do not. That's my hang up with that bag. There's also this one, the Ségur, which reminds me a lot of the Givenchy Antigona, the shape of it. And I had an Antigona dupe from Anafeel on Amazon a while back and sold it within the last few months. I'd never carried it and just never reached for it. It was stiff, but I think the person who bought it had been looking for one for a long time, and so she was very happy to have it. The Ségur, I think it looks a lot alike and it has the pleats on it. I don't think it would be as stiff because it's canvas, so that one might work better for me. I think it's really pretty, and I think that's one I would use. It's also sort of like the Speedy, but like a big sister, little fancier. Speaking of Speedies, the Speedy with the Steven Sprouse green graffiti on it, I have the matching pochette accessoire and would love to have the Speedy to go with it. It's another one that I'll probably never have because the cheapest you can find them is about $1,500, but the vachetta is often messed up around that price and I wouldn't want to pay too much more than that for it. I already have a few Speedies and there are other bags that in that price range, if I have that kind of money to throw around on a bag, there are other things that I want more. Probably won't end up with that. Another one I probably will not end up with is the Terren Nano. It's not very practical for me and it's way too expensive and hard to find, but it's super cute, so if somebody wanted to give me one, gladly add it to my collection. A bandeau I would love to have, and I have the chance so many times to purchase it in the store and never did, and I kicked myself, and that is this, the Voyage Extraordinaire with the leopard and the trunks and the palm leaves and stuff. I just think it's really pretty. Why didn't I buy it? Because now it's hard to find, very, very hard to find, more expensive than it should be on the pre-loved market, so kicking myself. I have also, for a few years now, wanted a zippy coin purse. I've told you guys about this, and I have not been able to decide on which one I want. I think I finally decided that I want this one, the Blossoms print, but that's also difficult to find, and when I have found them, the hardware tends to be tarnished and messed up, so I'm on the lookout for that. I'd also go for the Black Empreinte, but I would really like something in the Blossom print. I like that, and I think this would be a good piece to have that in, so that's one that's on my radar. If I find it, right condition, right price, you know the drill. Okay, now let's talk YSL for a second. There's a card holder from YSL that I have been dying for. I have this bill pouch here in gold on gold. There's a card holder that's also this metallic, but it's silver leather with the gold hardware. Another thing I had a chance to buy when it was brand new and didn't, and kicked myself, and now no one has them. You never see them up on the pre-loved market, or at least I haven't, and I look all the time. So that's something that if I found it, and those do tend to be in great condition because the YSL card holders, they're very sturdy, they don't wear down very easily, and the prices tend to be good on them pre-loved too. More than retail, but still decent. So that's one I would definitely pick up if I came across it. And then here's my big dilemma right now, and you guys can help me out with this. I would really like to have, you know, I have the Rebecca Minkoff Edie bags, and they're small, flap, they're like plush quilted. I would really like to have a bag like that that's larger, very similar to the YSL Lulu bag, right? So here is the YSL Lulu in the large size. That's the size that I would want. Fashionphile currently has this one in the khaki color, which I really like, and it has silver hardware, which I really like, because I would like to get this in like black with silver hardware, or something like the khaki, some kind of darker neutral with silver hardware, not gold. But this bag, beautiful as it is, on Fashionphile, even discounted, is nearly $2,000. It's $1,900 something. And I'm just not willing to pay that much for it. It's another item where I feel like it's not long-term classic. It's not something I'd have the rest of my life. So I don't want to pay that kind of money. So I'm looking for alternatives, and I have a few in mind, but none of them are perfect. But the YSL isn't perfect either. So I don't know what to do. I'm really trying to figure this out. There's Kurt Geiger. They have several bags in their Kensington line that are the XXL size. So they're about the size, I think they're actually bigger than the YSL, which is fine with me, like by an inch or so maybe. And my favorite color combination, because they have a few different ones, is the black with silver hardware, but that one has this giant eagle's head on the front of it that I think is just proportionally way too big. And that really makes me hesitate from buying the bag. And then they also have ones that have a larger quilting, more like a pillow, more like the YSL Lulu Puffer, which I also really like. But that one has antique gold hardware, and I really want the silver. Why can't they just make that one with silver hardware? And then there's also, Rebecca Minkoff just very recently released a large size of their Edie bag, and it's black with silver hardware. They have a few other colors too, but I feel like it's probably not quite big enough, so I don't know what to do. I feel like no matter what choice I make, take price out of it. Let's say they all cost the same. I feel like no matter which bag I have, I wouldn't be totally happy with it. Some of them don't have back pockets. Some of them are smaller than I want them to be. Some have giant eagles' heads on them. So I don't know what to do. What other options do I have? Do you know of any other bags that are large, like 15, 16 inches long, that are in this style with the puffy quilting, and I can get it in black leather with silver hardware. Any ideas? And I'm sure there are many, many more items on my wish list, but that is it for now. So what items are at the top of your wish list? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope to see you back here next time, and I hope that you have a fantastic day. Bye.